First and foremost, I am wanting to see overall. Let me say this first. I want to see how does this team transition and how quickly do they get back to what they finished with in OTAs and minicamp. So if you assume that over the summer they have made this, continual upward trajectory, that's what you're hoping for. You see your guys grow together. Then you get a big break. You get a dead period. And you have guys that have been throwing down there in Florida and probably all over the country. And there's probably a lot of guys that are still up at the facility getting workouts in and doing their things up there. But how do you transition whenever you get back into training camp? You expect them to step back a little bit here and there, but I I think it's pertinent that they get off to a fast start. Right. I'm not asking them to be perfect day one. I'm not. I know that there's going to be a few hiccups here and there, but uh, Eric Bieniemy is not going to accept a lot of those. He's going to give you probably one, but you're going to hear about it. So I'll definitely be talking about how vocal he is at training camp. But I want to see overall just how does this team come back? I mean, are you showing up again where they got to get you back out of back? I'm sorry. Are you at the point where they're going to have to make the first offense re-break the huddle because they don't have the right energy? Are they going to have to get their tempo back? What are their what where are they going to have to quickly get back on the right track heading into training camp? That's what I'm paying attention to. But position wise, first and foremost, I'm looking at the offensive line. I know you thought I was going to say receivers, but I like to start up front. I'm sure you're going to get a lot of combinations of players. Obviously, Charles Leno penciled in and probably sharpied in there at left tackle, Andrew Riley at right tackle. What's going to happen at left guard? Is it Sadiq Charles, Chris Paul? Who else is going to get an opportunity? Nick Gates, he's a guy that could work in there. There's a lot of versatility across the offensive line, and you have more players than you have available positions. Ricky Stromberg, draft pick, Braden Daniels, draft pick. Where do these guys fit in this off season's plans and in training camp? Uh, I'm assuming that the team is they're going to roll out different combinations throughout the day. I think there'll be a time where they say, hey, this is what we're going to start out with. And if you go right to left, there's going to be Wiley, Cosme, maybe Nick Gates there. And then you say maybe you give Sadiq Charles a chance and then Charles Leno. And if somebody's off to a slow start, then I wouldn't be surprised if they quickly make a switch to get somebody else in there. You got to put that pressure on each other. Coaches are responsible to do that to get the most out of their players. You have to put some pressure on them. I'll tell you a story about, I think it was my welcome to the NFL moment, my final test. But I want to see what's going on in the offensive line. You have an offensive line, even though it's not all of these same guys. Last year, they gave up 46, 47 sacks. They were in the bottom third of the league, probably, I think, 28th. They gave up a whole lot of sacks. And in comparison, the Kansas City Chiefs, they gave up 26 sacks. They gave up 26 sacks over the entire season. The Commanders gave up 26 sacks just to Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz was sacked 26 times last year. So that performance has to improve, and being able to gel across the offensive line quickly is going to be extremely pertinent and very important to help this team strive and be the best that they can be. It's going to start up front. If you want this quarterback to be successful, you're going to have to make sure he's upright, has time to throw the ball. And I think that play calling by Eric Bieniemy and execution by Sam Howell are going to go hand in hand in helping this offensive line be successful.